Hello, welcome back. Today I have another comparison or an overview for you for 3 different yo-yos, ones that I haven't talked about before. They are all made by the same company, and the reason I want to compare them is because they all have a lot of similar features, but are really different yo-yos as well. So the ones I'm talking about, of course, are the ones made by the company iYoyo. And the 3 yo-yos are the Shooting Star, the Iceberg, and the Titanic, or the Titanic. My main reason for making this comparison in this video is because they are in a lot of ways very similar yo-yos. They all have an H shape with like a serious drop from the rims. They all have a finger spin dimple. They all have similar or almost the same sizes, but they are very differently priced. The Shooting Star can be bought for, I think it's about $25 to $30. It's a great plastic. It's an all plastic. It's machined plastic from what I understand. Very smooth finish. The Iceberg is what we call a hybrid, which means a plastic body with steel rims, but a similar shape, similar finger spin dimple. And the Titanic, or sometimes Titanic, is a titanium yo-yo with similar finger spin dimple, similar finger spin shape, and about the same width. It's a little smaller than my Iceberg, because my Iceberg is the newer, wider version, and the Titanic was made after the original Iceberg version. And as I said, the Shooting Star can be bought for $30 or under. The Iceberg is normally about $60 to $70, and the Titanic or Titanic is about $250. Now, for most of these, sometimes iYoyo has a B-grade sale, which means they're available for a lot less, which is where I bought my Iceberg and my Titanic. And these are great value, but for now, we'll compare them based on the original prices. So here we go, on to the tricks. I'll do similar tricks again, go through them. First I'll do a quick run of showing you which tricks I did for this video. And from there on, I'll talk about the differences between the 3 yo-yos. So enjoy, and hope you have a good time.
First, a speed combo to test spin times under stress. These tend to slow down a yo-yo by a lot. Checking out how the finish feels during grind tricks. The trick Spin City really lets you test the finger spin capability of a yo-yo, and so that's what I'm doing here. Longer combo with lots of different elements and tricks to test the spin time during a little bit less of stress than is normal during a speed combo. Couple of laceration tricks to see how the string lands in the gap. Regular finger spins, which were timed so that we could compare them with each other. Testing stability with my limited horizontal capabilities. And a quick front style combo. So first off, let's have a look at the Shooting Star and the things it had trouble with and the things that kind of popped out that were noticeable. The shooting star felt great. In play, it could do all the tricks fairly well, but near the end of the longer combos, it tended to run out of power. Just kind of ran out of spin near the end of this combo and started to tilt. As you can see, it just misses. And during the speed combo near the end, it comes back to the hand rather slow, so you feel that it's starting to miss some power. The finish on the shooting star is excellent for grinds. As you can see, it spins on a finger for a fairly long time. It does good with talon grinds, which can then be used in a bind. And when thrown at an angle, it can even be caught on a thumb for a thumb grind. It did fairly well in the horizontal test, but you can see that near the end it starts to go vertical. This is partly due to my lack of technique, but the yo-yo is just less forgiving than some other yo-yos that I've used for this. You can see time and time again, at the end of my trick it starts to go more and more horizontal as I miss more. The finger spin is very easy to land and lasts for a very respectable 36 or so seconds. Apart from finding the trick fairly difficult, the only obstacle with the yo-yo in doing this trick Spin City was that sometimes my finger hit the wall of the yo-yo, which made it slow down by quite a bit. Next up, the Iceberg. So let's talk about this beast. No problem whatsoever during the long combos, and it came back with a good snap and quite a bit of speed at the end of the bind. Speed combos, similarly, it just blew through. It feels fast and light, and with loads of power left to possibly make the combo longer if you want. Not a single problem with the front style combo as well. It just feels like it wants to move. On the finger grind it has lots of speed, the finish is really nice on the plastic, it lasts for a long time, it came back easily. However, with talon binds, the slippery, slick rims kind of make it hobble and slow down too fast, and thumb grinds were just about impossible on it. Very good finger spin time and stability at almost 50 seconds of finger spin time. A lot longer than, or a bit longer than the shooting star. It's very stable during horizontal tricks. It just wants to stay on the same plane and it doesn't start to go vertical at all. As you can see, once again my humble attempts, but it's, it doesn't really go back to horizontal or go back to vertical. And Spin City was also very doable once again. You could see a little bit of a wobble when it popped out the finger spin dimple, but in the end it stayed nice and stable and was able to do the trick. Next up, the Titanic. Let's have a look at this thing and see if its price is justified. The long combo was not a problem at all. There was plenty of spin time, it was nice and smooth. Everything went just as I wanted it to. Well, except for missing sometimes. Front style combos and speed combos also not a problem at all. The yo-yo is slightly less wide than the new Iceberg, but this doesn't really seem to bother me in play. Despite it being more narrow, hitting the lacerations was not a problem at all. The finish was excellent for grind tricks, at least the one on this yo-yo. I understand there's also some very slick finished Titanics that don't do so well. For talon grinds I ran into the same kind of problem I did with the Iceberg. Maybe I gripped too hard, maybe it's my technique, but it just seemed to kind of like wobble when I gripped it. I wanted to make sure it was my technique, so I kept trying a couple of times, but it came with the same problem every time. Just like with the Iceberg, thumb grinds were really difficult. The edge is just kind of sloping outwards, so it won't catch on the thumb very well, even at an angle. Fingerspin time, if you land it neatly in the dimple, is pretty decent. It's not super impressive, but for a monometal yo-yo that is rarely blessed with a fingerspin dimple like this, it did okay. It did well enough that you can turn it into a nice DNA or something. However, as you can see, landing it into that dimple is not always as easy. The fingerspin dimple is actually fairly hard to hit on the Titanic. It's doable, but it's hard enough that every time that I actually landed it, it felt like an accomplishment. Horizontal play was actually the first time that I started noticing that it was a little less wide. Also, the binds on this yo-yo tend to be a little slippy every now and then. This might just be that the pads are not broken in yet, but it was a bit of a pattern. It was one of the problems that I had with playing horizontal as well. I would try to get it back and it would just kind of slip out of its bind. So it would be all over the place. Doing Spin City with this yo-yo is pretty much impossible. Landing that fingerspin dimple a couple of times in a row is just too difficult.
Now, to give a bit of an idea about how it is with spin times, what I did is I took each yo-yo and threw it in a straight down throw and then hung it up somewhere to let it spin until it was finished spinning. It would start spinning sideways instead of just normal spinning. I did that 4 times with each yo-yo, and out of those 4 times, the following averages for spin time came.
Shooting Star did decently, with 59 seconds as an average, enough time to do combos and decent tricks. The Iceberg, however, improved massively on that, with almost double the spin time and sometimes more than double that. The Titanic did decent, kind of in between the Iceberg and the Shooting Star, but didn't improve on the Iceberg.
So the conclusion of the 3 yo-yos. First of all, let's talk about the Shooting Star. Specs should be right up there. The Shooting Star is a budget plastic and should be seen as that. Although, despite it being a budget plastic, performance is great. Stability is great. It even did fairly well at my humble horizontal attempts. For the price that you pay for one of these, it is an excellent deal. They're great yo-yos. They feel great in the hand. They're nice to the touch. There's a whole host of colors available. I use mine mostly for 5/8 practice because it drops on the floor a lot, and it doesn't really damage when it does that. Great for finger spins. Honestly, there's no reason, if you like yo-yos and you like trying different yo-yos, there's no reason not to buy one of these. They're cheap and they're excellent. Great to toss in a bag or whatever. When we compare it to its older brother, or more expensive brother, the Iceberg, specs right on top there. The Iceberg is in almost every sense an upgrade to the Shooting Star. Spin times are longer, stability is better, spin times are quite a bit longer. Stability is a lot better, it's better for horizontal, it's better for long tricks. It works better for grinds because it simply has more power. The rims outside provide it with lots and lots of stability. Main difference between the two is the Shooting Star is a lot easier to land in a fingerspin. However, the high walls of the Shooting Star that make it so easy to land in that cup, perfectly centered, also make it so that when you try to pop it up, or when you move it around when it's finger spinning, your finger tends to hit the sides of the wall, which slows it down. So there's give and take there. Other than that, Iceberg, not even that much more expensive than a shooting star. If you tried the shooting star and you like it, get yourself an Iceberg. You will love it. It's everything the shooting star is, but better, basically. Then on we move to the Titanic or Titanic. Now, the Titanic, new price, costs almost 5 times as much as an Iceberg, at least 4. The Iceberg can be found for like $70, $60, $70. Titanic starts at normally around $250. Is it 5 times as good? No. Performance-wise, Iceberg is better than the Titanic. It does, however, have that neat titanium sound, which is really cool. It's a lot more durable. You can bounce this thing off the floor and it'll be fine. It'll show slight scratches in the anodizing, but there won't be any warps, there won't be any bends. There's no rings to move. That will probably happen if you hit the Titanic too hard on the floor, or hit the Iceberg too hard on the floor. You can't really go wrong with this thing. You can't like really mess it up. Plus, it's titanium, and that's kind of cool. But you pay a serious premium for something that doesn't outperform the cheaper version. I still am very happy with this. I love it. Finger spins, not so easy on this one. Where the Titanic, or where the Iceberg and the shooting star have an inward slope towards the finger spin dimple, Titanic has a flat cup, and that makes it so that hitting the cup is not a guarantee of actually hitting the finger spin dimple, and it will start going around, lose balance, and just fall over. So that's basically the whole thing. You want good, high-performing yo-yos for actually what is a fairly little money. Iceberg and shooting star are excellent for that. Great beginner yo-yo. Shooting star is probably my favorite beginner yo-yo. If you get the full package, you get a responsive bearing with it, which means you can start with easier tricks, not doing binds. Other than that, it's just a great high-performance plastic yo-yo, excellent for finger spins. My favorite that I've tried for learning finger spins. There's a couple other yo-yos that are similar to it that will probably work just as well. But just a great yo-yo. Iceberg, high performance. Costs a little bit more. Worth it. Totally worth it. Some people think it's a bit loud. I don't really have a problem with it. It's not louder than a plastic. I don't need earplugs for it or anything. I'm fine with it. And the Titanic, the high-grade brother, that's, let's be honest, just a fun toy to own. But so are all yo-yos. So if it's worth it to you, get it. I will say that it's an excellent performer. But is it worth the premium over the Iceberg to you? That's something everyone has to decide for themselves. So thank you for watching. That's my conclusion. And hope to see you next time. Hope you enjoyed it.